Hi, I'm Chris Young, Business Development Manager with Anritsu Infoviz. Today we're going to look at how you can reduce consumer complaints and also minimize product recall risk on your production line using inspection equipment. The first aspect, product recall, I think is pretty straightforward. It has a huge impact on your bottom line, has a large dollar value, and we have some data to share with you where the last study that was done in 2010 estimated that a product recall costs $10 million. Keep in mind that's 10 years ago. So today's social media presence, that number's surely gone up. But not only that, it has a very negative impact on your brand image. So at all costs, everyone wants to avoid a product recall. Second aspect, consumer complaints, so I think is a little more gray and somewhat more interesting because a consumer complaint has an impact to your bottom line as well. You have to deal with consumer complaints and there is a social media impact for a consumer complaint. So reducing both is very critical to your business. So to look at consumer complaints a little bit further, we have some data from one of our key customers. And what they did is they had a very strong metal detector program already in place, to which they added our X-ray systems onto their lines. So after they added X-ray inspection, they were able to increase the amount of their rejects by 30 times. Now you might think that sounds kind of negative. Why would I want 30 times more rejects? Well, because the X-ray system was able to find much smaller pieces of metal, glass, stone, bone, and other dense contaminants. So those 30 times increase in rejects were actually thousands of contaminants that were limited from getting to their customers. So by pulling off all those rejects and bad products before it reached to your consumer, that not only helps reduce consumer complaints, and in this instance, as we'll see, it was reduced by 28%. But it also eliminated thousands of complaints possibly going to the customer, which also could have led to a product recall. So let's look at the solution that they implemented. So the first unit is an Anritsu metal detector. It's our M6 product line, and what's unique about this is it runs 2 frequencies simultaneously. So all Anritsu metal detectors are simultaneous dual frequency, which give you the best of both worlds. You have the best stainless, which is non-magnetic metal, and ferrous detection, which is a magnetic metal. Then the product would transfer over to the checkware. The checkware and the metal detector fit in a very compact footprint, as you can see, and they have a common set of controls. And just having a common set of controls is really nice. It eliminates any possible user error. You don't have 2 pieces of data that you have to pull from 2 different pieces of equipment. It's all unified. After that, the product would go through the Anritsu XR75 X-ray system. And this has really 2 unique features to it. First one is right on the screen. All technology. And that all technology is advanced long life. So what we've done is we've increased the core components, the X-ray tank and detector, by 200 to 300%, which is 2 to 3 times longer lifetime. And that's significantly reduced the total cost of ownership. At the same time, the system comes equipped standard with Anritsu HD imaging. Just like on an HD TV, the better the image, the better the clarity, the better the detection. And speaking of that, we have a deep dish pizza. And on the screen, we can detect all the sizes down to 0.6 millimeter stainless steel. That's incredibly small stainless steel detection, much better than what the metal detector can do. So all those fine pieces of metal that could make it through without the X-ray system, all the rocks and stones that could make it through before the X-ray system were eliminated by having both units present. After the X-ray system, the product would pass through our reject system, and it has what we call our CCP kit. And what that entails is basically 3 sensors. So the first sensor is on the reject bin, and it's a bin full sensor. So just as it sounds, if the reject bin were to become too full that no more reject product can make it into the bin, we can send an alarm. The second sensor is the reject verify sensor, and that's really important. So for whatever reason, if there is a reject from the checkware, metal detector, or X-ray, and we know that it must reject, but it hasn't, and it's passed through that sensor, we'll go ahead and have the ability to shut down your line. Because that's worst case. So that means that a bad product has made it through the system, made it past the reject, and we don't want that getting to our consumers. The last one is just a low air pressure sensor. So if anything were obstructed, the air compressor, the air line, we'll go ahead and monitor that to make sure that the reject is working correctly. After that, what we have on the screen here is all of the data. So that's our Quicka 3 software package, and that takes all of the data from all of the equipment, including the reject images, and puts it into a database. And that's really nice for 2 reasons. First off, you can run all your reports for all of your equipment from one database. So you have your reporting, you have your visibility, and your analysis tools built into Quicka. But third is the historical aspect of it. So if you do get a consumer complaint in the future, now you can go back and reference it against your test data and also your reject images to ensure that it didn't come from your facility. So hopefully we've learned a little bit more how this inspection solution can help reduce significantly your consumer complaints and your product recall risk. To learn more about this equipment, what I would highly recommend is that you set up a demo van visit at your facility. We'll come out to your facility with our demo van, and in it, it has this exact XR75 machine and a combination checkware metal detector. Again, really look forward to working with you on your next inspection project. Thank you.